So thank you all. This is a very special service, the Age of Reason. We'll be talking more about it. And we're going to begin this ceremony right now. I invite you to join me in the spirit of prayer, meditation, and reflection. Spirit of life and love, Spirit of this community gathered here, which through our presence makes this a sacred time and a sacred place. We gather this morning together as an intergenerational community of toddlers, children, youth, young adults, elders, and those of us that act out all of these ages, often at the same time. Let us honor each of the generations that make this our truly intergenerational community. We gather this morning in celebration and appreciation of some of our children, our second and third graders in the Age of Reason program. We deeply appreciate parents who commit to bringing their families to be part of this community. We know sometimes our children come here joyously and excited to be here. Other Sundays, perhaps not so much. We give thanks to all of those who serve as teachers, leaders, and supporters of our children and youth. We rejoice in all the children and youth of our community. We love their thoughts, their speaking up, their energy, their perspectives, their laughters, and their very presence with us every Sunday. Thank you to you, the Age of Reason participants, for your courage and trust in sharing your hopes, dreams, beliefs, and aspirations, along with your concerns here today in front of our community. May we all be refreshed and rejuvenated by your Spirit. It's truly a gift to hear from our children, and we honor and recognize this important milestone for each of you. As members of this religious community, we pledge to give all of our children and youth our love, our encouragement, our respect, and our support. May all of us recognize that we can be inspired, learn from, support one another, regardless of the difference in age. Our intergenerational community provides a wonderful opportunity for growth, challenge, support, and nurturing our Unitarian Universalist values. Let us be open to its wonderful gifts in all of our lives. I invite you to join me in a time of silence.
Good morning. I've been thinking about why we have rituals. We don't have to, you know. So when I was a kid, I remember that if one of my siblings, any of us, had a ceremony at church or at school, for my family, it was first communions, confirmations, graduations, something that our school called Pansy Day, which was a really big deal. The whole family got dressed up, and we took a group photo, and we didn't have phones in our pockets with cameras, so that was a big deal. And we ate at a restaurant in San Francisco called Z's on Geary, and Z's was so special because you could have all the soft serve you wanted, and they had this beautiful, I thought it was so beautiful, the fried chicken with the heat light on it that made it glow a little bit. Oh my gosh. So it was very special. Whether it was your ceremony or someone else's ceremony, it was a great day. At the school where I work, the 5th graders graduate with a ceremony. At the school my nieces attend, just down the street, honestly, their ceremony is called a clap out, and the whole school lines up and claps, and the 5th graders go running by on their way out of school. But honestly, without any of those ceremonies, those kids would all go to 6th grade. Our 2nd and 3rd graders can memorize our shared values and write their credo without having any kind of special ceremony. So then why are we doing it? So one reason of many is that it allows us to look forward and backward at the same time. When I told Reverend Brian that's what I was going to say, he said, oh, January, we're in January now, is named after the Roman god Janus, the god of transitions, who has two faces. He can look forward and backward at the same time. So today, if you are not yet a second or third grader, Abby, you can look forward to the day when you get to do this. Izzy and Reed and Eden were here 2 years ago to see their siblings celebrate the Age of Reason. And if you are past second and third graders, that's many of us, then you have a chance to look back and think, when I was that age, what did I believe? What cupcake might I have been looking forward to? Was I nervous? What was I like when I was that age? Everyone here can likely remember some ceremony that you took part in your life. What were you like? Do you have a fancy photo to remember it? Did you get to wear something special? And this Age of Reason class can look forward too. You can all think, what will I be like when the next group is going through Age of Reason? What will I be like when I do high school bridging? So take this moment, everyone, to be here now, be who you are now, and look forward to who you will be, and look back a little bit to who you were.
We value our religious education for our adults and our children. I want to begin my introduction to this ceremony with a reading by Reverend William Ellery Channing, who defined religious instruction, and he did this in 1837. Now, William Ellery Channing is often considered the father of our Unitarian side of our movement, and these are his words from 1837. The great end in religious instruction is not to stamp our minds upon the young, but to stir up their own. Not to make them see with our eyes, but to look inquiringly and steadily with their own. Not to give them a definite amount of knowledge, but to inspire a fervent love of truth. Not to form an outward regularity, but to touch inward springs. Not to bind them by permanent prejudices to our particular sect or peculiar notions, but to prepare them for impartial, conscientious judging of whatever subjects may be offered to their decision. Not to burden the memory, but to quicken and strengthen the power of thought. Not to impose religion upon them in any form of arbitrary rules, but to awaken the conscience, the moral discernment. In a word, the great end is to awaken the soul, to excite and cherish spiritual life. Those are the words of William Ellery Channing from 1837. Well, it took a long time for those words to really get embedded within our religious movement, and in the 20th century, Sophia Lyon-Faz took this as a template for education. It was not about teaching facts, not about teaching knowledge, but inspiring thought, helping children to interpret the stories, those sacred stories that we come across, be it from the Jewish tradition, the Christian tradition, the Buddhist tradition, the Hindu tradition, or just from our secular culture, helping children to find spiritual meaning, spiritual growth in those. And I think that's what religious education is for all of us. We value that we are an intergenerational community. And when we talk intergenerational, we are not saying children and adults. We're talking about toddlers, children, youth, young adults, 30-year-olds, 40-year-olds, 50-year-olds, 60-year-olds, 70-year-olds, 80-year-olds, 90-year-olds, elders. It's each decade. It's building relationships between all of those decades, because those of us who are 60 and those of us who are 30 have maybe different worldviews, but often are struggling with those great old religious questions about the meaning of life. And Maeve talked about the importance of rites of passages, and this is one of them, the Age of Reason program. Because second, third grade is a really transitional time for children, because they're able to start thinking in abstract terms. And most of you will probably agree, religion is nothing if not abstract, but it's very meaningful in our own lives. We wrestle meaning from our lived experience. And we have a number of rituals. We've got the rites of passage today. We have a child dedication, and this can be of children of any age, where we have the naming ceremony, and people think, well, this is Unitarian Universalist baptism. It's not Unitarian Universalist baptism. There's no need for sanctification or purification. What Unitarian Universalist child dedication is, the parents in this community agree to raise the children with these values. The children will decide themselves as teenagers, as young adults, do they want to be a Unitarian Universalist? Do they want to be part of this community? We just agree to raise them with these values. The decision is theirs. We also have the coming of age program for our teenagers, where another time where it's beginning that preparation to go from being a youth to young adult. Children, it's often said, are our future. That's not true. Children are our very present. Children are part of this community. Some of the age of reason children may have been Unitarian Universalists longer than many of the adults. The children are not, they may be our future, but that's only part of it. They are very much a present and important part of this community. The real purpose of religious community, the real purpose of Age of Reason program, the coming of age program, the child dedication, and all that we do is that last line of William Elliot Channing's writings. The great end is to awaken the soul, to excite and cherish spiritual life. So we're going to hear about the spiritual lives, the values, the hopes, the dreams, the aspirations, and the concerns of our Age of Reason children.
So I have had the privilege of teaching this class for our second and third graders. And it's a special class, it's different. As Brian said, this is a new stage of cognitive development. And our second and third graders are beginning to think abstractly about who they are. So since early November, they've been learning about and trying to make sense of our shared values. They're printed on your order of service every week, and you could memorize them too. They memorized these values. They did activities, and they did homework. I know, homework in Sunday school, really? To think about how these values show up in this church and outside in the world. They looked for signs of our care for the environment in this building. They studied the photos of the past ministers. Do you know where those photos are hanging? To see if they told a story about our willingness as a community to change as the world changes. They had a fun lunch party with Reverend Brian. Thank you, Martha Beatley. And they wrote and edited their credos. It's not easy to write what you believe at any moment in time. You should try it. And I expect that their credos will look different in a year or 10 years. But I'm proud of what they have accomplished and will share with you today. So first, they're going to recite the shared values for you, and then we'll do the credos. I'm going to ask, please, even though you will be moved to clap for them, to please not clap individually for the credos. Just let that piece go by, and then if at the end you would like to clap for all of them, then that would be lovely.
So do all of you have the UU values memorized? I see a lot of embarrassment. Well, we're going to help you a little bit. We're going to have a unison reading of the values that the children just led. So could we have the slide that will be on the screen? And we'll have the unison reading of the values. So join me. Pluralism. Make room for different cultures, experiences, and beliefs. Interdependence. We honor the web of all existence. Generosity. We share what we have and practice being grateful. Justice. We work to be a diverse community where all thrive. Equity. We declare that every person is worthy. Transformation. We adapt to a changing world. And love is the power that holds us together. What do you think, Age of participants? Did they do okay? They did amazing, Milo says. I thought they did amazing. And that ends with, and love is the power that holds us together. And that is the essence of religious community. I want to say I was so impressed. I both read the credos and hearing the credos that every one of them expressed values of equity, gratitude, interdependence, pluralism, and justice. Every one of them had that within the credo. I also heard every one of them expressing concerns for others and what they would like to do about it. And when I say others, including animals and the planet we live on. I also heard each of them challenging themselves to be as good as they aspire to be, which is ultimately the very definition of spiritual growth. I am so thankful for them. I'm thankful for them having the courage to come here and to present in front of all these people. This is more people than come to hear me. I respect them, and I'm inspired by each of you. I know from our meeting, you were all very clear when we met in December, that love is an important value. The love of your family, love of your friends, love of your neighbours, love of this community, love for the planet, love for animals and all beings on the planet. And you bring that love every Sunday, and I hope you take the love of this community with you. So thank you, Amelie, Eden, Izzy, Reed, Milo, Lucy, Sam, for being a wonderful part of this community. Please know that we hold each of you in love. We hold each of you in respect. We honor the dignity and what you contribute to this community. As I've said to this congregation many times, we love you and there's nothing you can do about that.